They've seen what we've done. And so they're literally trying to destroy us. They're trying to destroy me. They're trying to destroy the movement.
An ADOS dude, there was an ADOS dude named Bill something, Bill the Icon.
Bring out all the dirty laundry.
So when did I know that Black Lives Matter was a fraud? I knew from the beginning. I was probably ahead of the curve more than most. Early on, I knew Black Lives Matter was a fraud. The minute you should have known Black Lives Matter was a fraud, when you saw how many white people were supporting Black Lives Matter. And I'm looking around, and we all seem to dust up over the last week between, or the digital dust up, as they did not meet face to face. And I'm talking about Candace Owens and Patrisse Cullors, the episode in which, and I'll show a clip. Go ahead and check it out.
I just really, y'all, I really need my family to be safe. I need to be safe. I need my child to be safe. And this, what happened this morning is not safety.
So what you are seeing right now is the face of a woman who is pretending she's afraid of right-wing pundits, when in reality, she's being exposed as a fraud who took millions, used the faces of Black people, took millions of dollars to fund herself, to fund her lifestyle, to fund her girlfriend, and to buy $1 million mansions in neighborhoods where no Black people live. So,
You know, she basically, as part of her upcoming documentary, with camera crew, approached, I guess, one of the Black Lives Matter dwellings, looking to speak with someone. And I guess once the message was relayed, Patrisse Cullors went live, boohoo crying, talking about how she didn't feel safe. And Candace Owens was demanding for her to come outside. And at the very same time, as you'll see, Candace Owens also went live, attempted to comment in the comments on Patrisse's live, but Patrisse blocked the comment so that no one was able to leave a comment on her live. So, really, really looked bad. The rant was one thing, but then to break down crying as if Candace Owens had stormed the gates with a mob, looked really bad. And then right on top of that, to have the tax disclosures drop, in which we'll see how the Black Lives Matter spent those donations. And I just wanted to get into it because they raised $90 million. And there is no outrage. 90 million. And we'll get into the breakdown on how some of that money was spent. But I see so many people, as of recently, for one, willing to hold people like Kevin Samuels accountable for his opinions, observations, and takes on, his subject matter, which was, pretty much Black mating and dating. That even in death, that Black woman would go so far as to celebrate his death, was really, really a historical low for those who took part, man and woman, for that matter. But the beta males, they're gonna tuck and go along with, whatever they feel they need to go along with, because they go along with everything else. This is just another, hurdle for the betas to hop, so they're gonna go along with what Big Mama say, for the most part. Chastising and celebrating, the death of a Black man who had no power or control over their lives, who you did not donate money to, who did not capitalize off of the deaths of black bodies, such as Black Lives Matter. $90 million, dollars, way more money than Dr. Umar Johnson could ever dream about raising. But I see many people going at him too. You know, we got smoke for people who have no control over our lives. They can't write policy. Kevin Samuels can't write a policy that can affect you. He can't evict you from your home. He doesn't sign your checks. He can't fire you from your place of employment. The only thing he could do is offend your sensibilities with his opinions, with his observations, and, you know, with his takes on dating and mating, black dating and mating. But I don't see that same energy for people like Patrisse Cullors, who, again, as we know, raised $90 million and spent that money buying lavish mansions in all white enclaves where you or me do not have access to. So, you know, as far as Candace Owens putting the pressure on her, I was definitely here for that. You know, it was great theater, but it was also a great expose. Well done, Candace Owens. But we're going to get right now into the breakdown. And this is an article from the New York Post. It says Black Lives Matter co-founder Patrisse Cullors used charity funds to pay her brother and her child's father eye-watering sums of cash for various services, according to tax documents filed with the IRS. The co-founder's brother, Paul Cullors, saw a cool sum of $840,000 hit his bank account for allegedly providing security services to the nonprofit organization, tax documents seen by the Post show. And I'm going to show a clip in which she says that she hired her brother as security.
Is there any truth to the reports that your family has been hired to work at the property that was purchased by Black Lives Matter?
While my brother is the head of security and my mom and sister did work at the property, there are also dozens of other people who work in the organization.
She didn't say anything about almost $1 million for security. And Candace Owens said that when she was approaching the gate, that the security guard was a white man. They couldn't employ a black security guard. So let's go on. Meanwhile, the organization paid a company owned by Damon Turner, with whom Cullors shares a child, almost $970,000 to help produce live events as well as other creative services. So she paid her baby father almost $1 million to produce live events as well as other creative services. Now, my question is whether Paul Cullors and Damon Turner were involved or engaged successfully in both of these areas of occupation or entrepreneurship. Was Paul Cullors a successful security company operator? And was Damon Turner a successful producer of live events and provider of creative services? I wonder. Or was this startup cash, you know, to get the business off the ground? That's a good start. They didn't even have to go on Shark Tank. So they go on. On top of the controversy, BLM wrapped up its fiscal year, which runs from July 1st, 2020 to June 30th, 2021, with a stunning $42 million in net assets. The foundation had an operating budget of about $4 million, according to a board member. More than $37 million was spent by the foundation on grants, real estate, and charter on private flights, according to the tax filing. So Ms. Cullors here was flying not first class, not business class, but she was chartering private flights. She bossed up for real, huh? So they go on. So what is more, $32 million was invested in stocks, making up nearly a third of the 90 million the organization received in donations. The investment is expected to become an endowment in a bid to ensure the foundation's work continues in the future, organizers said. So they threw 32 million into the stock market. It's probably taking a hit right now, but they can afford to ride it out with 32 mil. So the investment, so the 63-page Form 990 document, an annual filing required for nonprofit organizations to maintain their tax-exempt status, shows Cullors reimbursed the organization $73,523 for a charter flight. Jeez. That's more than most people make in a year. And that's just for one flight. And, regardless of whether she paid it back or not, as the founder and head of a nonprofit organization, just doesn't, to me, in my opinion, show that that you are a worthy ward of the public trust and public funds and things of that nature. These are donations. But a lot of y'all got smoke for Dr. Umar Johnson. You feel me? You see what I'm saying? And companies, individuals were funneling massive amounts of money to BLM. A lot of that money that was being donated was spread out through a company called Act Blue, if you remember. A lot of organizations were popping up, but when you hit the donate button on a lot of these websites, it went to through Act Blue, which was the fundraising arm of the Democratic Party in 2020, well, leading up to 2020, Act Blue. Google that. So let's go on. $73,000 for the charter flight. Jesus Christ. I can't get over that. So they're saying BLM insists she took the flight in 2021 out of concern for the COVID-19 pandemic and the health risks that come with it. So she was scared of having to brush with the C-19. So they also say that Cullors had already found herself in hot water after receiving a cool $120,000 payment for undisclosed consulting fees by BLM. Undisclosed consulting fees, and that could be anything. That's just a way to get paid. Everybody got paid. So after back-to-back controversies, Cullors last year resigned as executive director of the organization amid criticism over her lavish lifestyle. The tax filings released closely follows the controversy over the purchase of a $6 million property in Los Angeles. BLM faced a torrent backlash last month when it publicly emerged that the organization purchased a swanky Southern California home using donated cash. Cullors at the time said she was weeks removed from being in survival mode after the Post's exclusive reporting revealed her purchase of 4 high-end U.S. homes for $3.2 million. So she was just throwing this cash around. I'm not saying that as a nonprofit organization, you shouldn't be able to make a profit and pay yourself a decent salary. But to go on a $3.2 million house buying spree, and then on top of that to purchase a $6 million property in Los Angeles, to me it just looks like this was a Ponzi scheme, or what do you call it, a pyramid scheme, to enrich yourself and your handlers, those around you, your family. Shoot, your baby daddy made off with $1 million. How much work did he actually do? So during that time, she says she hosted a Joe Biden inauguration party for about 15 people, including BLM chapter members and other key allies of the organization. Cullors initially said that the property was purchased by BLM to serve as a meeting venue and a campus. She also issued a statement denying suggestions that she had lived at the property or taken advantage of it for personal gain. Cullors says she also threw a private birthday party for her son at the property in March of 2021 and intended to pay a rental fee to BLM. So she threw two parties, one for her son, one for Joe Biden's inauguration. So they say in the recent tax filing show she paid the foundation an additional $390 over her uses of the 6,500 square foot Studio City property for two private events. So she got to use 6,500 square feet, two events, and she paid $390. What's a bargain? She got the homeboy hookup. That's her brother there, Paul Cullors, head of security, allegedly. Yeah, he got that look like, ooh, you rich, homie. I did that. I made you a millionaire. Aren't you happy to be my brother? And he gonna have to break her off some of that. So tax records show after spending more than $37 million on grants, real estate, consultants, and other undisclosed expenses. What are all these undisclosed expenses about? We need full disclosure. They're saying the BLM organization is still worth tens of millions of dollars. A red flag that seemingly emerged from the tax records shows that Cullors was the foundation board's sole voting director and held no board meetings. So she was basically the queen of the castle, and she answered to no one. No reason to have any board meetings. She's the only one had a vote. And they're saying this 990 reveals that the BLM Foundation is the largest Black abolitionist nonprofit organization that has ever existed in the nation's history. What we're doing has never been done before, says Shalomaya Bowers, who serves as the foundation's board secretary. She's probably getting $150,000 a year. We needed to get dollars out to grassroots organizations doing the work of abolition, doing the work that would shift the moral tide of this world towards one that does not have or believe in police, prisons, jails, or violence. Right. So they want to abolish prison, police, jails, and violence. Good luck with that. This here is Monty and Paul Cullors. Yeah, this is head of security. And I don't know who Monty is, but he got a rag in his hand. I don't know if that was a movie set. He looked like he might be banging. Tax records show So tax records show BLM paid Bowers over $2 million for providing the organization with operational support, such as staffing and fundraising. So Shalomaya Bowers was paid over $2 million to provide the organization with operational support, such as staffing and fundraising. Wow. She must have been a hell of a fundraiser. I don't want to misgender her. Shalomaya does sound like a female. So they're saying the foundation vowed to launch a transparency and accountability center on its website to make financial documents available for public inspection. Bowers, who was named as one of the 3 members of BLM's board of directors in May, serves alongside board chair Cicely Gay, a communications professional, and Dejane Parker, a member of BLM's Los Angeles chapter. Oh man, so yeah. I'm not gonna keep this. That's pretty much bulk. Oh, the filing also reveals that almost $26 million was written off as grants to organizations and families in the last fiscal year. What families? Are these payments to families who lost loved ones to police violence? I mean, this is ridiculous. And y'all people don't have no smoke for Patrisse Cullors. Y'all don't have no smoke for Joe Biden. Y'all don't have no smoke for people who have the ability to actually influence your lives. And y'all got smoke for Kevin Samuels. I mean, make that make sense. Make it make sense. Y'all got smoke for Kevin Samuels. That man is dead. But y'all don't have anything to say about Patrisse Cullors taking advantage of the public trust, raising $90 million, going on $3.2 million spending sprees on lavish properties in white enclaves, again, that you or I do not have access to. Undisclosed payments for undisclosed services. $1 million to her baby daddy. $900,000 to her brother. Fake tears, when Candace Owens shows up at your doorstep wanting some answers. I mean, give me a break. I mean, make it make sense. You know what I'm saying? And just to know that the same mechanisms that always, turn your screws are carefully being tweaked right now and being ready to be deployed. I'm going into the midterm, so I'm just going to sit back and watch. Went down in Buffalo, and we can't get an anti-black hate crime bill. We can't get money infused into the community like the AAPI community did in New York City. Well, they got a federal anti-Asian hate crime bill. Joe Biden couldn't wait to sign that. But he goes to Buffalo, and I don't think he mentioned anything about anti-black hate. And if you look at the statistics, instances of anti-black hate outpaced any other group. I mean, by far, by double, I do believe. I may be able to post a graphic, but, you can Google that. So, it's really no argument. Who's the most targeted, most hated, most maligned, group in the United States. And that's us, the American descendants of slaves. The American descendants of slavery. So, until we start using our voices properly and using the mechanisms available to us properly, we have to hold ourselves accountable, because we continue to allow. At some point, we have to understand that in our abuse, in our subjugation, at some point we become willing participants. Let that sit with you. At some point, we become willing participants in our own subjugation. We continue, Dr. King said it best. If your back ain't bent, can't nobody ride it. And we keep bending our backs and allowing ourselves to be ridden. We live in a democracy, and we're supposed to, there's an agreement between the government and the people, and if we do our part, we're supposed to be able to take part and reap the benefits of our constructive participation, in the propagation of a fruitful society. And by and large, goddamn, black people, that's what we do. And I know that, we always talk about and highlight that small section, of the community that shows out, that acts bad. But that's just how it always, they're going to get the most attention. Especially in a media that's dominated by white supremacy. And the process of, a continuation of the propaganda to malign our community, we keep giving it gas. We keep giving it, oxygen. So, we have to get our priorities straight. Get off Kevin Samuels. You know what I'm saying? And that whole energy, that's not a good energy. They say black women are the backbone of the Democratic Party. Well, I say if you are the backbone of the Democratic Party, then y'all got some explaining to do because we haven't been getting any tangibles. If you're the backbone of the party, or is that just something that they tell you to gas your head up? Just more black girl magic. You know what I mean? Not to say that, black girl magic, can't be a thing. But in the grand scheme of things, things are not getting, accomplished by magic. So, let the symbolism go. Let the ego stroking go. If you're the backbone of the Democratic Party, then somewhere you're hustling backwards and you're not using your influence properly to benefit or uplift the community at large. But that's it for me right now. I'm gonna end this video. Don't forget to smash like on this video and subscribe to the channel and smash that notification bell so you'll be notified whenever I drop a new video. It's your man online, Bill Money, signing off. I'll see you on the other side.